embarking on a relationship with Prince Harry. Please roll out the red carpet for one of my favourite superstar panellists. It is, of course, Lizzie Cundy.
Hello, good to see you.
You look fabulous, Lizzie.
Thank you, darling. Good to see you.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Now, the thing is, right, a lot of people see you on the show, but people don't really know much about you. So talk to me about your life. And where were you born? What's your backstory?
I was born in Richmond, Surrey, and my father was an art director, and I think that's where I got my love of kind of politics, because he did the advert for Labour wasn't working back in the day for Margaret Thatcher. And it was funny because my mum was very liberal, my dad was conservative. She used to have a sign on one side of the window, he'd have his Tory stick on the other. But yeah, it was a very sort of colourful upbringing, really, with you know, lots of different people in and out the house. He was a photographer, so there was David Bailey, Duffy.
Really?
And I think that's where I got being sociable, because I, as a very young age, was mixing with all these sort of adults, and I never, you know, was fazed by what anyone was or what they did for a living. You
were surrounded by stars pretty much from the get-go.
I was, yes, indeed, yes. And I think that's what made me want to do what I wanted to do, really. And but I just always had a love of politics, so that's why I love being on your show, Nana, and working here. I love it.
So let's talk about your childhood then, because I know you told me yesterday, which I didn't know about, that you'd been through eating disorders and things like that. I mean, with all of those things, so such a wonderful, positive energy around you, how did you find yourself in that sort of situation?
I think I was doing modelling from a young age, but I was struggling. There were things that weren't working out in my life. I wasn't that happy with the school I was at. I wanted to do my drama, which I loved, and go to this drama school. My mum and dad worked very hard. I hardly saw them. My mum was the head of Jaeger. My father was the head of, you know, of Saatchi & Saatchi. He was away a lot filming adverts and so forth. So I think it was a way, like I said on the show yesterday, of controlling my own life. And it was kind of, I couldn't control other things, but I controlled my food. And thankfully, I don't think you ever get over it, having anorexia, but I've learned to control it, and I'm happy with where I am and with my food. I can sometimes feel it come back if there's something awful happening in my life, but I'm able to work it and get through it. And sadly, it is one of those diseases that never kind of leaves anyone, and I'm sure there's viewers watching that have gone through it. But I'm in a very happy place and happy with my eating and drinking, as you know.
You're very happy with the drinking.
Yeah, exactly, I'm going to say.
Talk to me about football, because you married a footballer.
Yes.
You were probably the first ever wag, weren't you? Or no, that was, she was the Janice Dickinson's.
Well, they call me the original. It makes me sound rather old, the original wag. Yes, so I married Jason very young. We got together.
Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy, yes, and met in a nightclub in Richmond. I saw him and thought, oh my goodness, I've never seen anyone dance like that with their trousers so high. I was like, no. But his training ground was round the corner from me. He was at, I think he was an apprentice. He hadn't been properly signed by Chelsea, and he used to wait outside my house every day. So he was like the stalker kind of thing. He'd just wait for me, and he got round me in the end. And yeah, we hit it off. He made me laugh, and we had two lovely kids. So though the marriage didn't work out, it was a terrible divorce, I have to say. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but we had 17, you know, long years.
Long years. You say long years. Was it a good marriage? What was it? What can you tell us? Because I know some people keep things.
Well, no, I love the football world. Don't get me wrong, but your partner is not with you. I'm not wanting anyone to feel sorry for me, but they're never with you through Christmas, you know, birthdays, special occasions. They're always away. And don't forget what it's like being married to a footballer. You've got to watch, you know, everyone around you. And sadly for football, it's very tough when, you know, a footballer gets to 30, it's the end of their career, and Jason had a lot of injuries, and he also had testicular cancer twice. So in a year of me, I was getting married, having a baby, I lost my best friend, and then Jason, at the age of 27, had cancer. So it was a hell of a year. It was quite tough, but you know, he coped amazingly, and we kind of thought, out of this bad thing, what can we do that's good? So we started up a charity, and that's how I kind of got into the events, because I thought, gosh, I'm quite good at organising these events, and we did a great event for this charity we set up, and raised loads of money and got loads of awareness for men's cancers, because men are dreadful at going to the doctors, as we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite quite a tough time, and Jason sadly was injured a lot. And you don't want to be married to an injured footballer. It was tough, very tough at times, and it is a tough game. It's great at the top. People always think, wow, looking at all the flash cars, houses, not every footballer gets that sort of money like David Beckham's and the John Terrys. And, if you're injured or you're not liked, it can be very difficult if the manager doesn't want to pick you, and it can have a real effect on your well-being.
I can imagine that would be quite devastating, especially if you are good, but you're injured, you cannot play to your best of ability that you can. And then if maybe they don't like you as well, that's even more.
Well, if they don't like you.
It wasn't both things, was it?
I remember Jason saying, I'm going to grow this beard till the manager talks to me. I think it was obviously our dealers at the time at Tottenham. And then suddenly he was looking like Grizzly Adams with his beard. I was like, look, he's never going to torture you. But it is a tough game, football. It can be a cruel game, as well as the beautiful game. But I'm very much still involved, still friends with a lot of the players and the players' wives. But I became this kind of waggony aunt for them.
You did.
Yes. So with football, there's always a lot of things going on, and footballers doing the wrong things, being on the front of the pages for the wrong reasons. And I became this sort of waggony aunt, they called me. They called me.
For the wives.
Yes, for the wives. And, I was very lucky to go to 2 of the World Cups, and I was there. Wow. And I'm presenting for ITV, and very lucky. But met Nelson Mandela. The first thing they said to me was, where are the wags in South Africa? I was like, oh, what? Everyone was obsessed with him, and I can't tell you what it was like. It was like the Beatles had come to town. Everyone wanted to know them.
Wow. That's quite an experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you knew about the Wagatha Christie scenario as well. What's happened with that now? It's gone quiet, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's over. And Colleen won, and so she should have won because Vardy didn't have any evidence. And I have to say, it's sad. It should never have gone to court. And it was a huge waste of money. But Colleen had tried and stop it. And sadly, it continued. But it made all the front pages yet again. So people say, oh, the wags are over. But look, they got every front page and it went global. I was getting calls from Australia, America, wanting to talk about it. It went everywhere.
So embarrassing, wasn't it?
I know.
Vardy. I mean, when she said about her phone disappeared with all that, and her PR person sort of disappeared into the ether.
Yeah, it went over on the North Sea. It's not a good start. But look, that's given the wags a bit of a bad name. There are lots of great girls that are married to footballers that do great work, do loads of charity work. And, for me, I made a living out of it. I did a book, I did a musical, Wag the Musical.
Yeah,
Can you believe? And
there's the book about your life, as I haven't read it. I think I need to.
Yes, I need to bring you a copy.
You need to bring me a copy.
A signed one, I'll do for you.
Yeah, would you?
I mean, it's a funny read. And it is really about my life, which is like a carry-on film. It is like Carry On Cundy. And I don't know how the amount of people I know in this showbiz world, but I've been very blessed. I had ITV at the movies where I got to fly to LA, meet all the big stars, A-listers, like, Tom Cruise and
really? What is he like? Is he really as short as people say?
He is quite short, but he's actually very, very nice. And you know what was so mad? I saw him again on the red carpet and he remembered me. And then afterwards, I was with my son. I said, I don't want to watch this movie. He snuck out, went into a restaurant. He was sitting there. He whistled me over and went, come on, Lizzie, come and join us. And my son came out to look for me going, Mum, where's Mum? Oh, she's sitting with Tom Cruise. It was kind of like, man. But he was one of the loveliest.
Yeah, a lot of people say he's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, you also met Meghan Markle, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I was friends with Meghan for a while, and I really got on with her, Nana. I was asked by a friend to look after her at a charity event. And I thought, who is this woman? I don't know who she is. I want to sit with my friends. When you go to an event, you said, you're in that corner. I was like, I don't want to. But I didn't know what Suits was. No one actually knew who she was. No. And she had the pleasure of sitting next to me. But she was asking, really, where, she wanted a boyfriend, wanted to get onto the showbiz scene and wanted a job in British TV. She wanted to be made in Chelsea, actually, the show. So I said, look, if I can help you, I will, which I tried to do. And I tried to hook her up with Ashley Cole, actually. He was a former Chelsea player. But
what did he say?
It wasn't not his type, he said. I thought she minded of Cheryl Cole.
Did she ask you to set her up with him? Or
well, no, I said I'd try and hook her up with a few guys. She wanted to stay in Britain. She wanted a British boyfriend. So she won in the end and won the lottery.
Back to print.
She did, indeed.
I don't know whether that's a lottery, though.
Yes, well, I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Nana. But, yeah, I mean, it has been an eventful life, and I've got some great friends from it. I mean, obviously, there's a downside to this celebrity world with trolls and people writing stuff that isn't true on Twitter, and, you know, we know on social media, which I'd like to be more controlled, to be honest. But it's a fantastic life, and I've been very blessed and lucky to do what I do, but I've had to fight for it because I think people think, you know, oh, footballer's wife, she's a bimbo, and I had to really prove, especially for ITV at the movies, that I could do the job, because I'm afraid people do judge a book by the cover, and as a woman in a very male-orientated business, it was quite tough.
Well, speaking about books, remind us of the name of the book and where people...
Oh, Tales of the Red Carpet. Yes, it's still out there. It's actually doing better than Harry's book, Spec. Can you believe it? Sold more copies, yes.
Really? Oh,
yes.
wow.
Well, it is, and I think Harry's has gone down to under half price now, I think.
Well, he's giving it away now.
I think he's giving it away. Yeah, but it has been very nice. I'm very blessed with lovely friends, and like your dear self, and it's a career change. I've reinvented myself now, and I'm love doing all of this and working with you, Nana.
Well, that is the fabulous Lizzie Cundy. Lizzie, thank you so much for joining me.
Lovely to see you.